Our Lady of Lourdes, also known as Notre Dame de Lourdes in French, holds a significant place in Catholic devotion and history. Here's a brief summary of the place. Our Lady of Lourdes is closely associated with the experiences of a young French peasant girl named Bernadette Soubirous. Bernadette was born on January 7th, 1844, in a small town of Lourdes, located in the southwestern part of France, near the Pyrenees Mountains. She was the eldest of 9 children born to François Soubirous and Louise Castereau, a humble but devout Catholic family. Bernadette's life was marked by poverty, illness, and hardship. Her family lived in a cramped and impoverished environment, and she suffered from chronic health problems throughout her childhood, including asthma and cholera. Despite these challenges, Bernadette was known for her piety and simplicity and kindness towards others. The most significant event in Bernadette's life occurred in 1858 when, at the age of 14, she encountered a series of visions of a beautiful lady in a small grotto near Lourdes known as the Grotto of Mazabiel. The first of these visions took place on February 11th when Bernadette and her sister, Toinette, along with a friend, were gathering firewood near the grotto. In her own words, Bernadette described seeing a lady dressed in white with a blue belt and a yellow rose on each foot. This lady appeared to Bernadette of a total of 18 times, with the last vision occurring on July 16th, 1858. During these apparitions, the lady identified herself as Immaculate Conception and instructed Bernadette to pray for sinners, do penance, and have a chapel built at the site of the apparitions. News of the apparitions spread quickly, attracting both pilgrims and skeptics alike. Despite initial skepticism from local authorities and clergy, the devotion to Our Lady of Lourdes grew rapidly as many claimed miraculous healings and spiritual experiences associated with the site. In response to the visions and the growing popularity of Marian apparitions, a small chapel was constructed at the grotto, which later expanded into a massive sanctuary of Our Lady of Lourdes, visited by millions of pilgrims each year. The sanctuary includes the Grotto of Mazabiel, the Basilica of St. Pius X, and several other churches and chapels. Bernadette's experiences with the apparitions brought her both acclaim and hardship. She faced skepticism, interrogation, and even ridicule from some quarters. However, she remained steadfast in her testimony throughout her life. After the apparitions, Bernadette entered the Sisters of Charity of Nevers, taking the name of Sister Mary Bernard. She lived a life of simplicity, prayer, and service as a nun, but her health continued to decline. Bernadette Soubirous passed away on April 16th, 1879, at the age of 35. Bernadette Soubirous was canonized as a saint by the Catholic Church on December 8th, 1933, by Pope Pius XI. She is revered as a model of humanity, faith, and devotion. The sanctuary of Our Lady of Lourdes remains one of the most visited pilgrimage sites in the world, drawing millions of visitors each year seeking spiritual renewal, healing, and peace. The devotion of Our Lady of Lourdes continues to inspire Catholics worldwide, reminding them of the power of prayer, the importance of humility, and the boundless mercy of God. The iconography of Our Lady of Lourdes is rich with symbolism and imaginary that have developed over time based on the accounts of Bernadette Soubirous, visions, and subsequent devotional practices. Here are just some of the key elements of the iconography associated with Our Lady of Lourdes. The central imagery in the iconography of Our Lady of Lourdes is the depiction of the Virgin Mary appearing to Bernadette Soubirous at the Grotto Mazabiel. Mary is often depicted as a young woman, radiating light and surrounded by an aura of heavenly presence. She typically wears a flowing white robe symbolizing purity and a blue sash representing her royalty and connection to heaven. During the apparitions, Mary identified to herself as to Bernadette as the Immaculate Conception. This title refers to the Catholic doctrine that Mary was conceived without original sin. In iconography, this aspect is often represented by a golden halo and around Mary's head, signifying her holiness and purity. One of the key messages delivered by Mary to Bernadette was the importance of prayer, particularly the Rosary, for the conversions of sinners and salvation of souls. Therefore, images of Our Lady of Lourdes often includes representations of the Rosary, either held in Mary's hands or depictions hanging from her waist. The location of the apparitions, the Grotto of Mazabiel, is often depicted in the iconography of Our Lady of Lourdes. This rocky outcrop serves as the setting of Mary's apparitions to Bernadette and is typically shown with a naturalistic appearance surrounded by flowers and vegetation. While the focus of the iconography is on Mary, images of Our Lady of Lourdes often includes Bernadette Soubirous kneeling or standing in prayer before Mary. Bernadette is usually depicted as a young peasant girl, often dressed in humble clothing, emphasizing her simplicity and sincerity. The devotion to Our Lady of Lourdes is closely associated with miraculous healings and spiritual graces reported by pilgrims visiting the shrine. Therefore, some depictions of Our Lady of Lourdes include scenes of miraculous healings, with sick or disabled individuals being touched by Mary's grace and experiencing restoration or health. During one of the apparitions, Mary instructed Bernadette to drink from a spring that emerged from the grotto, which continues to flow today and is believed to possess healing properties. Therefore, images of Our Lady of Lourdes often include representations of the spring, with water flowing from the grotto symbolizing spiritual cleansing and physical healing. The iconography of Our Lady Lourdes serves as a visual representation of spiritual significance and message of Marian apparitions at Lourdes. Through symbols, imagery, and scenes from Bernadette Soubirous' experiences, these depictions inspire devotion, prayer, and reflection on Mary's role as a mediator of grace and healing in the Catholic faith. The sanctuary of Our Lady of Lourdes in France is renowned for the reported miraculous healings that have occurred there. These miracles are attributed to the intercession of Our Lady of Lourdes and are documented by the Medical Bureau of Lourdes, which investigates claims of healing according to strict medical and scientific criteria. Here are some of the more notable examples of the miracles associated with Our Lady of Lourdes. Catherine Latapie, 1858. One of the earliest reported miracles at Lourdes involved Catherine Latapie, a woman who had been paralyzed for more than 10 years due to severe spinal condition. On March 1st, 1858, she visited the grotto of Mazia Belle and immersed herself in the spring water as instructed by Bernadette. Catherine experienced an immediate and complete healing, regaining the use of her limbs. This healing was well documented and played a significant role in establishing the reputation of Lourdes as a place of miraculous cures. Marie Bailey, 1901. Marie Bailey, a French woman, suffered from tuberculosis of the hip, which had caused her hip joint to disintegrate. She was bedridden and excruciating pain, and in 1901, Mary visited Lourdes and bathed in the waters of the spring. Soon after, she experienced a dramatic healing and her hip joint reportedly reconstructed, allowing her to walk again without pain. This healing was thoroughly investigated by medical professionals and declared miraculous by the church. Delizia Ciroli, 1952. Delizia Ciroli, an Italian woman, was diagnosed with advanced tuberculosis of the bone, which had caused severe deformations of her leg. Her condition was deemed incurable by the doctors. In 1952, Delizia made a pilgrimage to Lourdes and immersed herself in the spring water. Following her return home, she experienced a gradual and complete healing, with her legs straightening and regaining their normal function. This healing was also subjected to rigorous medical scrutiny and recognized as miraculous. Sister Bernadette Morio, 2008. Sister Bernadette Morio, a French nun, had been wheelchair bound for more than 40 years due to spinal complications resulting from a congenital condition. In 2008, she visited Lourdes as part of a pilgrimage. During her visit, she experienced a sudden and unexplained sensation of warmth and a feeling of being enveloped in light. Upon returning home, Sister Bernadette found that she could walk without assistance for the first time in decades. Her healing was thoroughly investigated and declared miraculous by the Medical Bureau of Lourdes in 2018. These were just a few examples of the many reported miracles associated with Our Lady of Lourdes. Each of these cases underwent extensive medical scrutiny and investigation to ensure that they met the criteria for a miraculous healing according to the standards of the Catholic Church. These miracles continue to inspire pilgrims from around the world to visit Lourdes in search of physical and spiritual healing. It's important to clarify that Our Lady of Lourdes itself is not canonized as a saint in the same manner as individuals like Bernadette Soubirous or other historical figures. Our Lady of Lourdes, it refers to the Virgin Mary as she appeared to Bernadette in the Marian apparitions at Lourdes, France. However, Bernadette Soubirous, the visionary who witnessed the apparitions, has been canonized as a saint by the Catholic Church. Here's a general overview of the process of sainthood for Bernadette Soubirous. Following Bernadette's passing in 1879, the process of investigating her life, virtues, and reputation for holiness began. The process is known as cause for canonization. Local bishops and church authorities conducted inquiries to gather evidence of her sanctity including testimonies from witnesses and examinations of writings and life. The next step in the canonization process is beatification. In Bernadette's case, this occurred many years after her passing. She was declared as blessed by Pope Pius XI on June 14th, 1925. Beatification is typically granted when the Church recognizes that the individual lived a life of heroic virtue and has interceded in miraculous events. Though in some cases, martyrs also can be beatified solely for their martyrdom. Canonization is the final step in the process of sainthood. To be canonized, a person must be recognized by the Church as having performed at least two miracles attributed to their intercession. These miracles undergo rigorous investigations by medical and theological experts to ensure they meet the criteria established by the Church. Bernadette Soubirous was canonized as a saint by Pope Pius XI on December 8th, 1933, nearly 54 years after her passing. The Church officially recognized her as Saint Bernadette of Lourdes. The canonization of Bernadette Soubirous affirmed her holiness and sanctity in the eyes of the Catholic faithful. She is venerated as a model of humility, simplicity, and devotion to God. Her life and the Marian apparitions at Lourdes continue to inspire millions of pilgrims who visit the sanctuary of Our Lady Lourdes each year seeking spiritual renewal, healing, and consolation. While Our Lady of Lourdes herself is not canonized as a saint, the Marian apparitions at Lourdes and the devotion associated with them have profoundly impacted the Catholic Church and the faithful worldwide. The canonization of Bernadette Soubirous, the Visionary of Lourdes, is a testament to the enduring significance of these events in the history of Catholicism.